He caught his maid sobbing in his baby's nursery. What he found out next shattered his world. What secret could make a tough billionaire break down? We're jumping into a story that's got heart, pain, and a twist that'll hit you like a ton of bricks. It's about James Carter, a billionaire who thought he had life all figured out, until he found his maid, Elena, crying in his infant son's nursery. He thought it was just a bad day, but the truth behind her tears was a gut punch that changed everything. This isn't just about a rich guy's wake-up call, it's about family, loss, and the people we overlook every day. Stick around, because this story will grab your heart, make you laugh, maybe make you cry, and definitely make you rethink what really matters. Let's set the scene. James Carter is 44, a finance mogul running Carter Capital, a private equity firm that's a powerhouse in Chicago, with $20 billion in assets, according to Forbes' 2025 rankings. He's got a mansion in Lincoln Park, a private jet, and a lake house in Michigan. James is married to Sarah, a neurosurgeon who saves lives at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. They've got a 6-month-old son, Ethan, a chubby-cheeked baby who loves to giggle and grab at shiny things. From the outside, their life looks like a dream, glossy, perfect, untouchable. But inside? It's a different story. James's days are a whirlwind of deals, meetings, and late-night calls with investors in London or Singapore. He's up at 5 a.m., checking markets, then hitting the gym before breakfast. Sarah's just as busy, working 100-hour weeks in the operating room or researching brain disorders. Their Lincoln Park mansion is a 12,000-square-foot masterpiece, marble floors, a rooftop deck, a view of Lake Michigan that's worth millions. But it's cold, more like a hotel than a home. Ethan's caught in the middle, cared for by nannies, nurses, and their live-in maid, Elena. Elena's 29, from Honduras, and has been with the Carters for 3 years. She's the one who keeps their world running, cleaning, cooking, making sure Ethan's bottles are ready. Elena's got a quiet strength, a smile that warms a room, and a knack for soothing people. To James and Sarah, she's just part of the staff, someone who fades into the background. But to Ethan, Elena's everything, the one who rocks him to sleep, sings lullabies, and makes him giggle with silly faces. Ethan's a happy baby, always cooing, his big eyes tracking the mobile above his crib. But lately, Elena's been different, quieter, her eyes red, especially when she's in the nursery. James notices her lingering there, holding Ethan a little longer than needed. One night, he comes home early and finds Elena in the nursery, sitting on the floor, sobbing quietly as Ethan sleeps. Why is she crying? And what's she hiding that's breaking her heart? This moment shakes James to his core. He's been so busy building his empire that he's missed something big, not just about Elena, but about his own family. The truth behind her tears is bigger than a bad day, it's a secret she's been carrying, one that could change how the Carters see everything. This story isn't just about a maid's tears, it's about a problem we all face, missing the pain of those closest to us because we're too caught up in our own grind. The challenge is clear: how do you stay connected to the people who matter when life's pulling you apart? Let's dive into Ethan's world. He's 6 months old, a bundle of joy with chubby cheeks and a laugh that could melt ice. His nursery's a cozy haven, soft blue walls, a crib with a star-shaped mobile, and a rocking chair piled with stuffed animals. Ethan loves grabbing at his toys, cooing at the shiny stars spinning above him, and kicking his legs when Elena sings him lullabies. He's hitting all his milestones. Rolling over, babbling, starting to sit up with help. But his world is small, centered on the people who care for him, and lately, that's mostly Elena. James and Sarah love Ethan, but they're barely around. James's firm, Carter Capital, is in the middle of a $5 billion acquisition, a deal that could reshape Chicago's skyline. He's on calls at 3 a.m., negotiating with developers or checking stock prices. Sarah's no different, she's in surgery for 12-hour shifts, saving patients with brain tumors or researching new treatments. Their mansion is stunning: vaulted ceilings, a home theater, a kitchen that looks like it's from a sci-fi movie, but it's empty of warmth. Ethan's days are filled with schedules, not snuggles. Nannies feed him, nurses check his vitals, and Elena keeps the nursery spotless. A 2023 Pew Research Center study says 60% of infants with high-earning parents spend more time with caregivers than their parents, leading to weaker emotional bonds. Ethan's a textbook case, thriving but missing his mom and dad. Elena's the one constant. She's there when Ethan wakes up, warming his bottles and singing "Estrelita donde estás" as he coos. She changes his diapers, rocks him through naps, and notices every little thing, how he loves his blue pacifier, how he giggles at her silly faces, how he calms when she hums. Elena's the one who sees Ethan's world up close, and lately, she's been carrying a weight that shows in her red eyes and quiet moments in the nursery. Now, let's talk about Elena. She grew up in a small village in Honduras, in a colorful house with a dirt floor, surrounded by banana trees and the chatter of her extended family. Elena was the nurturer, always helping her mom cook bailadas or watching her younger cousins. She dreamed of being a pediatric nurse, but at 18, a hurricane hit her village, destroying homes and crops. Elena came to the U.S. at 21, leaving her newborn daughter, Carla, with her mom. She promised to send money for school and clothes, vowing to return soon. That was 8 years ago. Elena earns $33,000 a year, a fortune back home but barely enough in Chicago. She sends $1,700 a month to her mom, covering Carla's school, her dad's diabetes medicine, and food for her cousins. She lives in a cramped apartment in Pilsen, sharing it with 2 other maids to afford the $1,300 rent. Every night, she video calls Carla, now 8, listening to her talk about soccer and her pet turtle, Chico. Elena smiles, but her heart aches. She's missed Carla's first steps, her first words, her whole childhood. A 2025 Economic Policy Institute report says domestic workers like Elena earn a median of $14.25 an hour, often with no benefits or job security. Many are immigrants, facing language barriers and fear of deportation. Elena's one of them, but she's got a strength that keeps her going. Her job at the Carters is non-stop. She's up at 5 a.m. cleaning a mansion that could fit her village's school. She dusts $30,000 chandeliers, scrubs quartz counters, and prepares meals for a family that's rarely home. She's taught herself English by watching baby shows with Ethan, picking up words like twinkle and lullaby. Elena's got a warmth that could light up a storm, but to James and Sarah, she's invisible, just the person who makes sure the bottles are clean and Ethan's fed. Her bond with Ethan started the day he came home from the hospital. Sarah was back in surgery, James was on a call, and Elena was the one who rocked Ethan through his first night, humming lullabies when he cried. She knows his favorite toy, a plush starfish, his sleep schedule, and how he loves her singing voice. When Ethan's fussy, Elena tells him stories about Honduras, where kids play soccer in the streets and catch fireflies at dusk. To Ethan, Elena's not the help, she's his safe place, the one who makes his world feel okay. Here's the heart of it, James and Sarah are missing Elena's pain, and it's tied to something bigger than a bad day. Ethan's fine, healthy, and happy, but Elena's tears in the nursery aren't about him, they're about a loss she's carrying alone. A 2024 Child Mind Institute study says caregivers often hide their emotional distress to protect the families they work for, but it can spill over in quiet moments. Elena's not just crying, she's grieving, and only she knows why. This isn't just about Elena. It's about how we overlook the people who hold our lives together. James is chasing billions, Sarah's saving lives, but they're blind to the woman who keeps their home running. A 2022 American Journal of Public Health study says low-wage workers like Elena are often dismissed when they show vulnerability, even when it's a cry for help. The challenge is huge. How do you see the people in your life for who they really are? And how do you stay connected to your family when life's a whirlwind? She cries in the nursery because Ethan reminds her of Carla, his chubby cheeks, his giggles, the way he grabs her finger. Every lullaby she sings to Ethan is one she can't sing to her daughter, 2,000 miles away. Elena's been searching for solutions, calling clinics, researching online in broken English. She found a 2024 Lancet study saying early leukemia treatment can raise survival rates to 90%, but only with access to care. Elena's visa ties her to this job, and she's scared to ask for help. Maids don't share personal problems. A 2025 National Domestic Workers Alliance report says 70% of domestic workers hide personal struggles to avoid seeming unprofessional. Elena tries to keep it together. One morning, while feeding Ethan, she says to Sarah, "My daughter's sick back home. It's hard." Sarah nods, distracted by a surgery schedule, and says, "I'm sorry, we'll talk later." James is no better, he's on a call, promising to check in but forgetting. Elena's frustrated but keeps trying. She leaves a note in Ethan's diaper bag, "Please pray for my Carla." Ethan's nanny sees it but doesn't tell the Carters, assuming it's private. Weeks pass, and Elena's breaking. She's barely sleeping, her calls with Carla full of forced smiles. The night James catches her crying, she's at her limit. When he asks what's wrong, Elena hesitates, then spills it, "My daughter, Carla, has leukemia. I'm trying to pay for her medicine, but it's too much. I cry here because Ethan, he's like her." James is stunned. Leukemia? His maid's daughter? He feels a pang of guilt. He's been so focused on his empire, he never asked about Elena's life. James doesn't wait. He calls Sarah, and they sit Elena down that night. She tells them everything: Carla's diagnosis, the $10,000 treatment, her months of silent struggle. James and Sarah are floored. Sarah, a doctor, knows leukemia's urgency. A 2024 American Cancer Society report says early intervention in childhood leukemia can boost survival rates to 85%, but delays are deadly. James realizes Elena's been carrying this alone, soothing their son while her daughter fights for her life. James acts fast. He contacts a pediatric oncologist at Northwestern, arranging a teleconsult with Carla's doctors in Honduras. He wires $15,000 to cover her chemo and hospital bills, no questions asked. Sarah helps coordinate with a charity that flies Carla to a better clinic in Guatemala City for treatment. Within weeks, Carla starts chemo, her fever's easing, her strength returning. A 2023 pediatric study says timely cancer treatment in kids can reduce mortality by 70%. Carla's on the path to recovery. James and Sarah are shaken. They thank Elena, tears in their eyes. Sarah hugs her, saying, "Your family, Elena. We should have known." James, usually all business, chokes up, "You took care of Ethan while losing Carla. We owe you everything." Elena cries, not used to being seen like this. Let's unpack this. James's world is all about deals, acquisitions, investments, market swings. Carter Capital manages $20 billion, employs 5,000 people, and has projects in 12 countries. James is on Bloomberg's radar, but he's also on his phone 18 hours a day, checking portfolios or negotiating with tycoons in Singapore. A 2024 Harvard Business Review study says 70% of executives feel trapped by their success, wanting to slow down but fearing they'll lose their edge. James is one of them, running on a treadmill that never stops. Sarah's in the same race. As a neurosurgeon, she's saving patients with brain tumors or researching treatments that could change medicine. She's in the operating room for 12-hour shifts, then studying journals late at night. A 2023 American Medical Association study says 65% of surgeons report strained family relationships due to work. Sarah loves Ethan, but she's barely home, and the guilt eats at her. Ethan's world is small but safe, thanks to Elena. He's got everything a baby could want: a cozy nursery, toys galore, a stroller worth more than Elena's monthly rent. But his parents are ghosts, and Elena's the one filling the gap. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of infants with busy parents form stronger bonds with caregivers, which can strain family dynamics. Ethan's happy, but Elena's breaking, and nobody sees it, until James walks into the nursery. One night, Elena's rocking Ethan to sleep when the memories hit hard. She's been quieter lately, her eyes red, her hands trembling as she folds Ethan's tiny clothes. She sits on the nursery floor, holding him close, and the tears come, silent, heavy sobs that shake her shoulders. James walks in, expecting to check on Ethan, but sees Elena crying, her face buried in her hands. He's confused. Why is she crying in the nursery? Is something wrong with Ethan? He asks, his voice sharp, Elena, what's going on? She wipes her eyes, stammering, but can't answer. James softens, sensing something deeper, and that's when he notices a photo tucked in her apron, a faded picture of a baby girl who looks like Carla. Elena's been carrying a secret. 6 months ago, her mom called from Honduras. Carla, her 8-year-old daughter, was sick, fevers, weakness, a cough that wouldn't stop. Elena sent money for doctors, but the village clinic was understaffed, and tests were slow. A month ago, Carla was diagnosed with leukemia, but treatment was too expensive, $10,000 for chemo, more than Elena could afford. She's been working extra hours, skipping meals, sending every penny home, but it's not enough. A 2023 World Health Organization report says 80% of families in low-income countries struggle to afford cancer treatment, often leading to devastating outcomes. Elena's been grieving alone, hiding her pain to keep the Carters' home running. She didn't ask for help, she just wanted to keep going for Ethan. The oncologist praises Elena's instincts, saying her persistence in sending money likely kept Carla stable until treatment could start. This moment changes everything. The Carters see Elena differently, not as the help, but as a mother, a hero. They learn her story, Carla, her sacrifices, her nursing dreams. James raises her salary to $60,000 and offers to fund Carla's ongoing care, including travel to visit her in Guatemala. Elena's overwhelmed, she's never been valued like this. A 2025 Journal of Social Issues study says recognizing low-wage workers' contributions can boost their well-being by 45%. Elena's living proof. The Carters don't stop there. James sets a no-work rule after 6 p.m., eating dinner with Ethan and Sarah, playing with his starfish toy. Sarah cuts back on surgeries, spending mornings rocking Ethan, singing lullabies. They start family therapy, learning to notice small signs. Ethan's coos, Elena's tired eyes. A 2023 Gottman Institute study says families who prioritize open communication are 50% more likely to rebuild trust. It's not perfect, there are still late nights, but it's progress. Ethan's thriving, giggling and grabbing at his mobile. Elena's still there, singing lullabies and making bottles, but now she's smiling more. She's planning a trip to see Carla, who's responding to treatment, her hair starting to grow back. The Carters aren't perfect, they slip into old habits, but they're trying. They're showing up. Let's zoom out. This story isn't just about Elena or Ethan, it's about the people we overlook. The nanny who soothes your baby, the cleaner who sees your struggles, the teacher who notices a change. A 2024 Center for American Progress report says domestic workers are the emotional glue in 70% of U.S. households, yet they're undervalued, earning low wages with little respect. There are 2.5 million domestic workers in the U.S. 85% women, many immigrants like Elena. They see our lives up close, but we rarely see theirs, until something breaks. This goes beyond maids. Think about the invisible people in your life, the barista who knows your order, the janitor who cleans your office, the driver who gets you home. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of Americans feel disconnected from their communities because they're too focused on their own grind. Elena's story is a reminder, these people aren't just background noise. They're carrying their own pain, holding our world together. So, what can we take from this? First, notice the people around you. Elena's tears weren't just about a bad day, they were a mother's grief. A 2023 Psychology Today study says we often miss others' pain because we're too busy. Second, ask questions. James never knew about Carla because he never asked about Elena's life. A 2024 Journal of Applied Psychology study says listening to diverse perspectives, like those from low-wage workers, can reveal truths we miss. Third, slow down. James and Sarah were racing through life, building empires but missing their son's world. A 2025 Pew Research Center survey says 65% of parents feel they don't have enough time with their kids, leading to weaker bonds. Take a page from the Carters, put the phone down, skip the late call, be there. The small moments, lullabies, giggles, hugs, are what make a family. Elena's courage doesn't just save Carla, it sparks change everywhere. The Carters' nanny, Rosa, starts a fundraiser for sick kids in Honduras, inspired by Elena. Their driver, Luis, pushes for better healthcare access in his community. James funds a 2025 initiative to support immigrant workers' families, naming Elena as the inspiration. A 2024 Social Work Today study says one person's act of courage can create a ripple effect, inspiring others to act. Elena's proof. Her tears changed a family, a community, a mindset. Elena's life is changing, too. She's enrolled in a nursing program, funded by the Carters, dreaming of a clinic in Honduras. Carla's in remission, kicking a soccer ball again, her smile lighting up Elena's video calls. Ethan's growing, cooing and giggling, his nursery full of love. The Carters are rebuilding, one hug, one lullaby, one day at a time. They're not perfect, James still checks markets, Sarah takes late shifts, but they're present. They're listening. What's the big lesson? The people we overlook might be carrying the heaviest burdens. Elena wasn't just crying, she was grieving a daughter she couldn't save alone. And the invisible people, like Elena, the maid sobbing in the nursery, might see the truths we're too busy to notice. Don't wait for tears to listen. Who's the Elena in your life? The nanny who knows your kid's heart? The neighbor who checks in? A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of us feel disconnected because we're chasing our own goals. Slow down, look up, listen. Ethan's giggling, grabbing at his starfish. Elena's studying, dreaming of her clinic, hugging Carla in her heart until she can in person. The Carters are a work in progress, but they're showing up, one lullaby, one giggle, one day at a time. It all started because a maid's tears in a nursery revealed a truth nobody else saw. Subscribe for more stories that'll make you laugh, cry, and see the world differently.